Hello class, this is for BCP 117. This is class number 3. This is one of a part of a series. And this one I'm going to basically go over actions, batching your actions, and then creating a droplet, okay? For my example, I'm just gonna make a general action to put a watermark on my images. So if for some reason I need to put them on the internet, they would have watermarks on them so people wouldn't steal them and upset me. Okay, so first things first, in order to create the action, I need to have something to create it onto. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my first one. So basically what I have is this. This is my setup, actually. So I have this actions, and okay, so I have a logo. This is what I'm going to use as my watermark. Okay, I just put that in a folder called logo. These are the original images. Okay, so I made a folder of the original images. All of them are set up here. Okay. And then I have this folder here, which is empty currently, but this is what the actions are going to save into after they put the watermark in them, okay? So that's why I called this folder watermark. I made one for 2PNG, but that's something different. Okay, so that's kind of what we have set up. So first things first, I'm just going to go ahead and open up one of those images. So I'm just going to go to the originals. Let's grab this one, hit open. Okay. So in order to start doing this, I'm just going to go right into it. I need to open up my actions panel or palette. So it's not over here. So if you just go up here, you can see actions. Click on that. Brings up this guy here. I'm just going to snap it in there so that it's easier to work with. Okay. So first things first, I just need to make one. So just like you make a new layer, I'm going to put the little sheet of paper over here. And I'm going to call this one watermark. Genius. Okay. Record. Okay, so now what's going to do is that everything I do from now on, it's recording it, and you'll see it'll start to make a list as I do these things. So first thing first, I need to bring in my image. So I'm just going to go to File, Place Linked, and I am going to navigate to my logo. And I have two of them. This one has an alpha on it. Open, and by default puts it right there. So I'm just going to change the size here. I'm going to make sure these are linked, and I'm going to change it to 250. All right, and I'm just going to, just so that it looks a little bit better, I'm going to go ahead and put 15 degrees as well, so it makes it somewhat like that. Then I'm just going to go ahead and execute. The next thing I'm going to do is, and you can see it already put place. And there's a couple, and these are all the options I had put in there. Okay, so that was the first thing it did. Now I'm going to go to layers, and I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to rasterize layer. Now what I'm doing specifically doesn't actually matter. You can record whatever you want. I'm just showing you what I'm doing here. So I rasterized it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an effect to it, just to kind of make it read a little bit better. I'm going to do a Bevel Emboss. It'll just make it more confusing and harder for someone to fake it. If it's just a solid color, then that's a little bit easier to remove, but something that has a gradation in it would actually make it more difficult. So I'm going to add that, and I'm also going to do a gradient overlay on it as well. And that will also, again, make it a little bit more difficult for them to, I'm just going to kind of bring it, okay, so it's a little bit darker, for them to remove. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then lastly, I'm just going to take the opacity of this and bring it down so that obviously it's not interfering with the image, but it's definitely there. And voila. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to call that my watermark. It makes me feel happy and warm and fuzzy. So if you look, you can see after watermark, these are all the things that were done. I'm just going to hit stop. And now that is an action. And that is something that I can do over and over again. So just to kind of show you an example, if I were to open up another, yeah, actually, I need to add something to it. So I'm going to go ahead and record because I missed one step. After I get done with this, I actually want to save this. So I'm just going to go File and Save As. So you shouldn't hit stop yet. And I'm going to save this underneath watermarked. And I'm just going to save this as a PNG. And I'm going to leave it at the same name and hit Save. And hit OK. OK, so now you can see that save was added to the bottom of this. Now I'm going to hit stop. I shouldn't have. Because I want to make sure it saves it after I make, those adjustments. OK. Now my watermark's good. So just to show you how this works, if I go to my file folder structure here, you'll see that my originals, I still have my originals. This one doesn't have the watermark still. Oops. But if I go to watermark, you can see it saved this one here. So I'm actually just gonna, if I double click on it, you can see the watermark, okay? I'm just actually gonna go ahead and delete that because I'm gonna have it automatically do it anyway. So, but just to kind of, again, so just show you how you would now apply it, I'm just going to open up a different image. So I'm going to open, and I'll open up one of the other images of the original. So let's grab this one. Okay. Boom. And all I got to do is I would select my watermark, and I have this selected. I hit play, and it will do it. And you can see it put that right on there. And you can do that, and you can have all sorts of different things, like something that quickly resizes, something that just changes the picture. You can have a whole set of these that you would just set up, that things that you commonly do, you can just automate them. And because part of that was saving, if I go to my watermark, you'll see that it actually put a copy right there as well. Okay, so which is kind of nice. You know, if I double click on it, you can see it. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So that's great, and that's useful. But let's say I need, instead of having to manually open up every single one, that's a little bit annoying, I can just batch them, okay? So to do that, I'm just gonna exit out of these just because all I have to do is go File, Automate, Batch, okay? So this is if I want to just run a whole slew of these. So default actions, that's just, these are it's a folder right here. You see, I just put up, when I saved it, I put in the default actions. The action that I'm doing is watermark. That was the one that I made, okay? The source, what it's going to do it to, I chose folder because I'm going to have to do everything in a folder. And then I just go choose, and I found my folder that I wrote originals on, okay? So it's the originals. Make sure you turn off the suppress file open options, otherwise it will annoy you constantly. Don't worry that much about it. And then destination, I'm going to choose another folder, okay? And I chose to go to watermarked, okay? So that way, that's where it's going to save it. Down here, you can see it says what it's going to save it as is the file, the document name, so whatever originally was named, and then the extension. So in this case, it'd be a .png or whatever it is, okay? So you can kind of see an example here. And then I'll hit OK. And it's gonna go boom, boom, boom. Oh. All right, let's cancel that. I did that wrong. Let's stop. Okay, let's redo that. Nope. I need to redo one part here. So automate, batch, yada yada yada. Where are you? Override, save. Yeah, this option is in the files we saved as. Okay. There we go. Now let's try that again. And hopefully it'll just pop right through. There it goes. And it should go right down the line through all the images. And if I were to open it up, you will now see that these have the watermarks. Okay. And voila. Yay. And I did a nice little batch. Okay, so that's a pretty cool option. The last thing I could do, instead of having to even go into Photoshop, is I could create what's called a droplet. All right, so these are all things we've done in class, so this isn't going to be super exciting for you, but you'll get the idea. Okay, so what I can do is go to File, Automate, and I want to create a droplet. And save droplet in, I'm going to choose, and I'm going to save it right into my class exercises. I'm going to just put it generally in here, and I'm just going to call it watermark. Okay, save. And it's under default actions, it's watermark. Override action, yeah, okay. All right, that, stop for errors. The destination is going to be a folder. Choose, and I'm going to go right to the same thing again. It's kind of like doing the batch. So where's I go? Where are my classes? Class 3, class exercises. There's a lot of stuff here. And then watermarked. Okay. And right action save as. Okay. That's great. Thanks. And then we'll hit OK. And that will make a droplet. Okay. So what that's going to do is that now I can just, without even having, I can actually exit right out of Photoshop now. I could actually go to, where are you? Where my stuff is saved, right here. I could go into that folder, okay? And I could go to classes, class 3, class exercises, boom, boom. And I could grab my originals, just click and drag all these, okay? You know what, actually I need to, I'm going to copy that, Command C, Command just so it's easier to drag. Okay, so it's right there. You see it's like a weird little icon. So now what I can do is I can grab those originals. I'll just click and drag across them all, and I will drop them onto this. And what it will do is it's automatically going to open up my antivirus. It's automatically going to open up this. Mind you, I closed it out, and it didn't like it. Let's see. Okay. And it didn't work. Okay. Oh, the antivirus. Okay, let's try that again, because I think what happened is that the antivirus messed it up. Yeah, so that's why. And it's analyzing it. Okay, so that's why. My antivirus blocked it. I just exited out of it. I wasn't really thinking. So I just drop it in there. It automatically opens up Photoshop for you, and it will put them on there. And then if I just exit out there, oh, it's still going. Whoops. Right. Come on. Okay, there we go. And now if I go into watermarked, you'll see, voila, and that was using a droplet. And so that's something that I could just keep all the time, keep on an icon, or keep it, you know, in a library of stuff, and then I never have to like specifically open up and run a batch. I can just drop them on there real quick, and voila, I have them all set up. So like, let's say I have a bunch of pictures and I want to just have them prepped to go on the internet. I can just have stuff that like automatically compresses them or converts file. Like let's say you have a bunch of TIFF files, which are great because they have high quality, but let's say I want to take those and put them on, you know, I want them smaller. I could make a quick little droplet that just takes the TIFF and converts them to JPEGs and compresses them and makes them smaller so that they're easy to transfer. And it's just as quick as that, and it's much faster, and it's automated. All right, so mind you, just gotta be careful about your antivirus. So obviously I